Greetings YouTube, and welcome to my next weapons build. This is a plate of 11 gauge steel. It's a salvage, so it didn't cost me anything. This is a tool handle which comes with a handy dandy slot already built into it, as well as 3 holes. I will only be using 2 of these. I'm going to have to put 2 more in here because, you see, I don't want to just use this plate as it is. I mean, I could mount it this way, and you could have a rectangle on it that way, and you could have a rectangle go on it, you know, like in a landscape as opposed to a portrait shape. No. I want to make this more interesting. So I want to cut from hole to hole a diagonal across this, and then put them side by side so that it's going to come like this with a flat at top. And I'm going to have it set up so that it will be sitting down here, and I'm going to nip the points off so that ends up being the same width as this here. And I'll be able to reuse these 2 holes because, well, they're there. And then I'll put 2 more holes down further down in line with them, and then so I end up with 4 fasteners. And this one is just, I'm just going to ignore it because I don't have any use for it, because it's going to end up being right on the seam, which is not helpful to me in any way, shape, or form. Though I could nip that out and put a cross. What size is this thing? It's bigger than a 1/4 Do I have a piece of threaded rod or a bolt I could turn into a pointy thing? That could be intriguing. It wouldn't be. I mean, it wouldn't be doing anything as far as fastening would be concerned, because I'll have to make a little divot in the steel. But that could be interesting. I'll take a look at that when I'm done, because this is going to go together. It'll be able to take it apart without any difficulty because it's just bolts and screws and stuff like that. So yeah, that might be an idea. Kind of give it a different vibe with a point on either side just for fun. Because, you know, who doesn't love a pointy, stabby thing, right? So first thing I'm going to need to do is get this out of my way, lay out myself a line across there. From the center to here, and that will be the line that I go with my angle grinder for the purposes of cutting. And it's going to only require a single cut. It's with an angle grinder, so this is a pretty low impact skill level. It's 1 single line. Then I'm going to set up the angle grinder here with a flap wheel mounted horizontally, and then I will use that to put an edge on the 4 sides that I need once I get, actually 3 cuts. I'm sorry, because I'm going to nip the tips off. Yeah, sorry about that. Put sharpness. I'm going to sharp on the top as well as the angled cut as well. So this will be one top, and there'll be an angle here, and I want these 2 edges. I am going to end up with one corner like this on the inside, and one corner. Can I get the corner in the inside so it's not in the way? Or do I want that corner on the outside for just a different look? Because one of them is going to be gone because I'm going to nip it off. The other one, it's an idea. I'm going to have to play with that idea before I make my final cut. See how I want that to go before I make my final decision. Do I want that on the outside, or do I want that on the inside? I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so let's do some layout, and then we'll do a setup, and I'll show you what it looks like before I cut it. So here we have my setup. I'm using this, which is a Bremen quick clamp, which I happen to really like. Just be careful, do not get this too close to hot metal or you will melt these pads. I found that out the hard way. And a C-clamp just because it's lower profile. And this happens to be a aluminum one, and it's a vintage. I have no idea how old it is. I'm not sure who made it. It might be a USA, I'm not positive. And we have a Bauer cutoff disc in this. I kind of like the Bauers. They seem to do a good job. I can't remember where I bought the Bauer. I have to figure that out because I use them. I go through these quite quickly. I buy them in like 10 packs because one of these wheels, depending on what I'm doing, might only last me a single project. You know what I mean? So you're never sure how long. So now I'm going to have to cut this. wasn't bad. Sort of free-handed. I wanted to make that little mark first because it kind of helps get the blade to follow it. And that I got that within the marker line I'd laid down, so not bad, you know what I mean? And we do end up with these little nicks here, but I don't care. Again, this is a post-apocalyptic theme. It's kind of well within my vibe, and we will be cutting one of them off because it's going to be cut off like that. So let's take this thing off. Let's take this off. Let's be careful because that edge is both warm and sharp now. So that is what we're going to look like when we're done. Those holes will do nothing. I could do a little bracket there just for fun, couldn't I? I don't need it, but it's an idea. So then again, I want to figure out how far these go in, and I'll be nipping it off a little bit so that you're going to have that radius there. I decided to go with the points there and have the radius in the middle because it's not as aesthetically pleasing, but it gives me better points on the outside. And so this is the business end. That's more important to me than that slight aesthetic situation right there. And again, nipping off the bottom, so you'll never see that, and that's going to look quite nice like that. I think you're still in frame, so let me give you a second. It's going to kind of go like this, and it's going to be about there, I think. I think that's about the side we're going to end up with. And I found this in my collection, already made. It's got 1 point on it. So we're halfway there, so I may use this in that center hole, though I may have to open that up just a smidge. This is 3/8, and this is just a smidge under 3/8. It's probably 3/8, it's just, you know, it's wood, so it moves and it's got burrs and crap on it. So I'm going to clean that up so I can get that through there, so I could put a second point on this puppy, and I may well do that just for fun. But yeah, everything's looking good so far. I'm probably going to end up using cap nuts, using 1/4 inch 20 cap nuts on the outside because I like cap nuts. I think they look cool. And because of that, I'll be using threaded rod, which means I can make bolts of any length in the world I want to make. So also awesome. I can never have enough 1/4 20 threaded rod, folks. I use this stuff like it's going out of stock. Alrighty, so now that we've got this done, now I need to figure out how much I need to cut off to get the specific dimensions I need. Go across there, make sure this is even before I do that, and then do those 2 more cuts and then start sharpening. Kind of got into the zone and I finished the blade. So there we have the 2 holes that will be mounting it to the handle, and there's a notch right there because I have decided to go ahead and put that in there, and I've already put a second point on that, and that will be held in place with those. And actually, having used these just as a temporary clamping process, I actually kind of like them. I think I'm going to go with these this time. Why not? And I've been doing these blades one at a time so I don't lose orientation. So now I know exactly which orientation this is, so now I can put this blade back, take that blade out, and then work on that one. And that way I know exactly, the blades go exactly the way that they're supposed to go back in. Because that can be a pain in the butt. If you've done something that is asymmetric and you have to put it back together again, you have to make sure you put it back in the same asymmetric manner that you built it. And that can be a pain in the butt. So I'm going to put this back real quick, and then I'm going to start working on this one. And here we have the assembled weapon. So here we go. This is the, I don't know what I'm going to call this. I call it a bi-point battle axe, I guess. Or a wedge axe. Yeah, wedge axe. I kind of like wedge axe. I'm going to call it a wedge axe. But it's got 2 big nasty points. It's got 3 sharp edges, or 2 per blade, top and sides. It's got that nice little point in the center, just for fun and giggles. I guess technically you could catch an incoming weapon on that if somebody swung at you, if you wanted to use this thing to block with. I don't know if you would. But I'm quite happy with the way this thing came out. I think it looks good. I like the patina on the metal. I I've decided I do like those, so I'm going to go with that. The backside doesn't look bad. It's using regular, ordinary, everyday hex nuts, and I just ground those things flat so that they would kind of blend in a little bit better. Used a grinding wheel to get them close, and then I used a flap wheel to make them, give them a little bit of shine. But yeah, quite happy with this build. It's inspired by that plate that I had. It was a piece of salvage, and again it was 9 by 6, and then it ends up being 12 inches wide when I'm done because of the way I cut it. So that's kind of cool. I get more edge out of the plate than it originally had. Okay, so I'm going to take some stills for this, and then I'm going to stitch it together and kind of make it a semi-functional video like I normally do. And I hope that you have been following me on my DeviantArt and on my Instagram. My DeviantArt is the permanent home of the stills from my builds. And Instagram is where I post salvage finds, and I post bargains and weapon picks, sneak peeks occasionally. And of course I do post cat pics, and who doesn't love cute cat pics? Alrighty, so I hope that you've enjoyed yourself in this build, and I hope you'll come back for the next one.